What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another deck profile here on TCG University for the card game Universes. My name's Tam, and today I'm going to be showing you Jeff's Snake Man deck that he played for the Retro Round 2 Campus Championship. Snake Man is a fan favorite amongst a ton of the Universes community, just because of how aggressive and oppressive he can be. There's plenty of times where you just accidentally don't draw a low block, and Snake Man can just outright kill you. And so, with that said, let's go ahead and look at the choices that Jeff made. All right, so Snake Man. Snake Man's a really, really rad character. If you haven't seen one of my deck profiles before, basically what I'm going to be telling you is how the deck wants to work as opposed to the reading off the cards inside of the deck. And so what does Snake Man do? Snake Man progressively snowballs into making his low attacks bigger. He says, all your low attacks get +1 damage for the rest of the turn. And so the first one gets +1, and then the second one gets +2, and the next one gets 3, and then 4, and then 5. And the longer you can play out a string of low attacks, the bigger and crazier your low attacks are going to get. He really piles on that damage. And then response once per turn. After you deal damage, you add a momentum from your hand, and then you can add a card. You can add a card from your momentum to your hand, from your hand to your momentum. Excuse me. Add a card from your momentum to your hand, and then add a card from your hand to your momentum. And so you pick one up, and you replace it back. Or if you don't have one, you don't pick it up, and then you can just put it in. So he basically says if you have a momentum, you can swap them out. If you don't have momentum, you can gain one from your hand. The long and short of it. So let's go ahead and jump into the deck and see the choices. So the first attack that we're playing is our main kill card. It is Missile Launcher. This is one of the most potent low attacks in the entire game. It's got Stun 2, powerful, discard the top 4 for speed or damage, and Snake Man's going to give it a little bit extra. This can be either for 10 damage or 11 damage, depending on what how we want to, or sorry, it either be for 7 damage or 11 damage, depending on how we want to use that bottom stat, which neither of those numbers are anything to sneeze at, especially inside of a Snake Man deck. And the other crazy good low attack that we have is for Nutcracker. Nutcracker just says it's such a good defensive card, a disruptive card with a 2 mid-block with Breaker 2, as well as it's a draw card, and it's 9 damage all by itself inside of Snake Man if it's your first attack, just as well as EX3, where it's for sure gonna smack them. The next low attack is 3 Dark Cherry-Toe. This card has multiple too, which multiples are perfect inside of Snake Man. And it says that my opponent can't play abilities to reduce the damage. One of the ways to beat Snake Man is being able to deal with those later turns. So I'll block the early ones if necessary, and then I'll just reduce the damage of all the later ones. With Dark Cherry-Toe inside of my card pool, you just don't get a chance to do that. Just not a thing you can do. Up next, we've got 4 Search Snake. This card is one of my absolute favorite cards inside of Snake Man. I mean, he's got his picture on it. And what this card says is, 1, it has multiple 2, and 2, if it deals damage, it goes into your momentum face up, and then you can discard a card to pick it back up from your momentum. And the cool thing that the reason this is so rad is it just says that if I've touched you once, I then get to touch you again. I just constantly just being so super oppressive, and if I've touched you with more than one thing, I've smacked you with it and a couple other cards, and so I'll grab it, and then I can just multiple it back out. Up next, we've got 4 Swallow Your Soul. This card's insane in Snake Man because of the keyword throw. It does combo with 3 damage, and so it combos with itself as well as Search Snake. And it says that it gets even more damage for each card inside of my card pool. And that does include things like multiples or foundations or so on and so forth. And so this card can get very, very big at the end of a chain with Snake Man's ability plus its ability, as long as I can hit that combo. On to the assets and actions. We're playing 1 asset, which is Omega Sword and Owl Shield. This is just extra damage for extra damage sake. If you look at the block modifier of any of these cards, they're not amazing. Swallow Your Soul has +4 low block. Well, that does mean that if I check my 4, my Swallow Your Soul is going to get another +4 damage. And so inside of Snake Man, even if it's your first card, that's an 8 damage throw that's swinging at you. 5 low for 8. This is so crazy good. As well as this fantastic on defense because it says none of the cards in your card pool count towards progressive for blocking. And so on my defensive turn, if I have 3 or 4 cards in my hand, I can pretty much guarantee block with every single one. On to the actions, we're playing Double Corner Your Prey. This card's really, really rad. It says my favorite part about this card is this form reveal face down momentum. If it's an attack, you can play it ignoring progressive difficulty. So if I have played an attack and it has hit you, I'll play Corner Your Prey as the 7th card in my card pool, reveal that it's a missile launcher, and then play my missile launcher on a 5. Oh man, I've got 7 cards in my card pool. It automatically gets 7 damage because of Snake Man. That seems pretty okay. The other ability just lets you cycle some momentum. Up next, we're playing Triple Confine. This card just says add a card from your momentum to your hand, then discard it. It feels really bad to get this thing negated because of the fact that the discard or the remove is not part of the cost, but it just basically says, hey, pick up an attack I've already hit you with. It's Snake Man at an enhanced speed as opposed to a response speed. On to the foundations. We'll start off with our aggressive foundations. We're playing three of the second Saintly Beast. This card just says discard the top three for +2 or -2 speed. I put this in the aggressive pile as opposed to the defensive pile, even though -2 speed is very good. But Snake Man's all about pushing damage through, and my opponent is going to do absolutely everything to make sure that they can block the low attack that matters. And so on the low attack that matters, maybe popping a couple second Saintly Beasts is the way that you're going to push that damage through and win the game. Remember, damage is good, but speed is what really makes you win. Up next, we've got Double Surveyor. This card just says form commit, add a card from momentum back to your hand, and / or you can just commit it and your low attack gets 3 damage. So if you know you're just going to be playing the throw this turn, I'll give it +1 to Snake Man. I'll give it 3 with Surveyor. And then I don't have a momentum, so I just won't bother picking anything up. Next turn, I'll pick up that throw back up. But for now, I'll just get a little beefy. We're playing Triple Sensomortals. The main reason this card's in here is 1, stun is such a powerful keyword, and 2, this is a great card to add in to draw off of Nutcracker. It is a playable while committed re-ready foundations, as well as it doesn't count as progressive difficulty while it's in the card pool. And in the same vein, we've got Triple Fusion Refusal. This card's got a little aggro, little defense in it, but its main job is once again being included in order to not count as progressive, in order to draw off of my Nutcracker. This one has a block, though, which is really solid. Up next, we've got 4 Hunters once more. This card, when it's in your staging area, if you play it as a form, as a block, as whatever, you can respond to the one in your staging area and then add it to your momentum. And so it clears your card pool just right away, and is just a really, really solid, quick momentum piece. Oh man, I have Hunters once more and a Dark Cherito in my hand. I might accidentally just kill you. Up next, we're playing Triple Folktale Storyteller. Snake Man can accidentally be one of the most aggressive decks in the entire game, especially because of how much he pushes damage through. He can accidentally find 40 damage really, really quickly, but only if he has the staging area to back him up. And so with Folktale Storyteller, it's good to just be able to, I drew 5 attacks in a Folktale. Well, I mean, I can trade this resource in my hand to a resource in my staging area and attempt to push for that kill. Double Dreaming Becoming Whole. Snake Man does a ton of discarding momentum in order to do a thing. And so after I've discarded any momentum, I can ready the foundation, as well as I can take, with Snake Man, if I don't have momentum, let's say I've got a bad card in my hand, I can take and hit you with a low attack and then toss the momentum in, then use Dreaming to Become Whole, and then discard the bad card in order to get +1 to then push through my attack even further. Up next, we're playing Triple Fallen Angels. This card's just super good on building on turn 1. Like I said, Snake Man can be hyper aggressive. And so this card just lets you play out your turn the best that it can. And so that on turn 2, if you accidentally find a good kill turn, you can just kill him. It's a really good consistency card for building. Up next, we're playing Triple Guardian of the Spirit Sword. This is here because of the -2 speed. If a weapon, -3 instead. The discard add an asset to your hand is fine, but we're only playing 1 asset. And so unless that is the make or break for the turn, we're probably just going to be using it for the continual non-committal speed reduction. We've got Triple Bakery Poster Girl in our defense pile. Destroy, put this printed speed back to 0. Put the speed to 0. Only playable if they've played 3 or more enhances this step. Playable while committed. Just what a strong. There's so many good words on this card. Speed to 0. 3 or more enhances the entire combat phase. Playable while committed. It's a 2/5/2 low block. It's so unbelievably strong. On even more defense or disruption, we've got the triple the Dark Side of Karma. Flip to put the speed back to printed, or if my opponent plays an ability that I don't want them to play, I can remove and cancel it. Both of those abilities are playable while committed. Just super strong card. On to more disruption, we've got this is defense. Slithering Serpent. Commit chance attacks to low. It can be used on our attack if they happen to change our zone to a different zone. They're posturing that they don't have a low block anymore. They use Faithful Monster, Wallet Desperation, put it to high. Actually, it's still a low. But more importantly, we've got a ton of really good low blocks in our deck. And so just enhance, commit, change your attack to low. Oh, I'll block with it. Hey, I did it. pretty solid. Up next, we've got Double Overly Dramatic. After my opponent plays an ability that would decrease or increase damage or speed, respectively, I'll just flip and cancel it. There's so many abilities tied to this effect. There could be a card that says, draw 2 cards, give this attack -1 damage. This says that they don't draw the cards and they don't minus the damage. There's too many good abilities that are associated with the speed and damage. And this card, the big reason it's in Disruption is it's does not say non-character like something like the Dark Side of Karma does. So if my opponent plays a character ability that does it, I'm going to mess them up for it. And then the last card is Double Pursuing a Vendetta. Foundation Destruction is all over inside of the retro format. Like, it's crazy, crazy good. And so making sure that you have mainboarded answers to Foundation Destruction, Foundation Removal is very important. And Pursuing a Vendetta is one of the strongest inside of the game. Your foundations are cool. There's a reason you want to play them. And so with Pursuing a Vendetta, not sure you lost it, but you can get it or any other cool foundation right back. All right, and there you have it, Snake Man 1 Dot. Snake Man's such a nostalgia trip for me. I remember playing against Snake Man all the time back when I was first starting. If you like this deck, make sure you check out all of the matches that Snake Man played in the playlist here on the channel. And if you want to see more retro stuff, go out to twitch.tv/TCG University. Follow the channel out there so you get a push notification whenever we go live every Tuesday at 6 for more retro madness. Retro Madness would have been a good name. And then lastly, if you want to talk about your awesome Snake Man ideas, please go out to patreon.com/TCG University. Sub out there at the $1 level, get access to our Discord, and you can talk to me, the student body, or any other faculty about your really awesome Snake Man ideas. So from all of us here at TCGU, thank you very much for watching, and stay learned.